Nigeria's Avengers militant group in the Niger Delta have promised to cripple oil operations in the country to zero as they push to have their demands met. Now, they want a better deal for their people, who they say have suffered environmental degradation and economic isolation despite residing in Nigeria's oil-rich region. CCTV's Kelechi Mekalam is in Port Harcourt with the story.
The latest attacks targeted pipelines in Bayelsa, Italian oil company Eni, and another run by Shell Petroleum Development Company owned the pipelines. At about 3:30 a.m., the group said its strike team blew up the Brass to Tabidaba crude oil line in Bayelsa. The pipelines attacks are key subsea export lines. None of the affected oil companies have confirmed the attacks. Shell said it was investigating reports of the new attacks. Using its Twitter handle, the group said it warned Shell against repairing already destroyed facility, but Shell ignored their warning. The recent attacks have affected Nigeria's crude oil exports, sending them down to 2 decades low. 1.4 million barrels per day, down from 2.2 million barrels. The Avengers warned increased attacks as President Buhari prepared to launch a mop-up of oil spills in the Niger Delta. The Nigerian military has been beefing up its force in the Niger Delta region. President Muhammadu Buhari wants his security chief to go after the perpetrators of the attacks with full force. But the Avengers have been boasting of being able to carry out more attacks despite the heavy deployment in the area. Niger Delta Avengers have been demanding for a national dialogue and a fair share of the oil revenue. Buhari says talks can only happen when the militants cease hostilities. Kelechi Mekalam, CCTV, Port Harcourt, Nigeria.
Now let's get an update on the situation. Deji Badmus now joins us in Lagos. Deji, as usual, welcome to the show. Now, of course, the militants recently released a statement asking the army to vacate the region or face a full-blown war. They also claimed responsibility for 3 new attacks, as we heard there. What is the latest on the situation?
Well, I can just tell you that the army has not reacted to that demand by the militant. Of course, you don't expect that the army would leave that region, and the government, of course, will definitely not take that seriously. We know that the government has been massing troops in that area, but then it has said it is still open to talks with these militants. As a matter of fact, it has opened talks with the ex-militants in the region who are suspected to be behind this. But of course, some have actually not accepted to join the talks. The Niger Delta Avengers, for instance, have spawned those talks. In fact, they've said they are not willing to talk with the government until the military vacates that region. And something else, I mean, these guys are asking for, which makes the whole thing more difficult, is that they've said they want independence for the southern region, for the Niger Delta region. Now, that is going to be a very difficult one for the government to deal with. But then the government, though massing troops in that area, has actually not begun any kind of action, so to speak, believing that you know, it will still be possible to hold talks with these guys. As a matter of fact, President Muhammadu Buhari last night met with former President Goodluck Jonathan, and even though the main reason for their meeting was not disclosed, but we understand the discussion centered on this militant attacks, that the government might be probably to seek the cooperation, or at least the help of former President Jonathan now to talk to these militants who are, of course, from his region, and actually they are of the same tribe as the former president.
Now, Deji, actually, some have criticized the government and President Buhari's approach to resolving this situation. Why the dissenting voices? Why the criticism for Buhari or towards Buhari?
Well, basically, I would say the criticism, you know, the bulk of the criticism, I would say, has been that the government should not be too quick to resort to a military action. Of course, if you ask me, I'll tell you that it would appear the government is listening. But the government's position is that it is adopting a carrot and stick approach. We've not seen the use of that stick approach For now, it's still a carrot approach. Overnight, for instance, we saw an attack where 2 soldiers were killed in Delta State. And the military has not reacted. I mean, the military has not retaliated. We've not seen any kind of action at all. No kind of, exchange of gunfire now between the military and the militants. Even the Niger Delta Avengers have come out to condemn the killing of the 2 soldiers, saying it is not their style. Basically, the government would appear to be listening to the criticism, because a lot of people had expected that before now that the military would have swung into action, but nothing has happened yet. But the fact is that if the killings of military personnel continue in the Niger Delta region, then we might be heading for a huge confrontation. There's no question at all that if the killings continue, then we might possibly see a military action in the coming days.
Well, thank you so much, Deji, for those insights. Deji Ibadmus joining us in Lagos. Now,